I was able to push the ring, and it rings out here, but it doesn't ring inside. Now, I've inspected all the that I could get to, all the receptacle outlets. I've opened all the windows that I could. It doesn't look like any of them are fogging. It looks like they're very dirty. They could be fogging, and I couldn't be able to tell. Home inspectors are required to render opinions about the foundation. And I use engineering equipment, but home inspector should stay in his lane. Okay, even though I use, engineering equipment, that does not make me an engineer. Okay, I do not calculate slopes. I don't know about tolerances, specs. Okay, I use guidelines. One guideline that the FHA uses is no more than 1 inch of floor height elevation differential within 25 feet. That's good enough for FHA. Between here and here, this is the lowest spot I was measuring in the home. It's 1 inch. And no more than 2 inches overall. 20 feet, excuse me. This is the highest place in the home, foundation-wise. This is the lowest spot. We're getting 2 inches. So this has exceeded a couple guidelines that I use to help me render an opinion about the foundation. This window doesn't latch very well. This window does not close and latch very well. Those are also guidelines that I use, along with the exterior movement and those kinds of things. And is it movement that's keeping these windows from operating like they should? Really? Or are they just old? Usually you budget for replacing the windows based on the fogging. But these windows are just plain old. Your neighbor doesn't have any sealant in his control joint. And you've got firewood stacked next to your neighbor's house. I mean, you're just dying to give them some termites. Fence is kind of sagging over there. We've got a kitchen and appliance video. We've already done all this. We talked about the microwave. We did. Oven. Talked about all this. Coming along, at some point, somebody got this great idea that they would put holes in the windowsills so they could put alarm systems in there. Now, where do you think the water goes? It goes right down that hole. It avoided the warranty on this window, which has been expired for years, but it did. We shouldn't have open handrails. Our newel post should withstand 200 pounds of pressure. Our steps are relatively uniform, however. The top step is too high. It's not supposed to be more than 1/32 of an inch. It's not supposed to be higher than 7 3/4 inch. The top step is 8 inches. These handrails are not supposed to be closer than 34 inches. It's supposed to be at least 34 inches. This one's about 34 inches. This one's low. Of course, it's got the open handrail, like I said. So don't trip on this. These are supposed to be 36 inches. And they're about 35. And the balusters are not supposed to be farther apart than 4 inches. And they are. Again, if you think you got some good from my videos and receptacle works, there's a like button right down there. And If you've got insomnia, there's a subscribe button right down there. And this is the point, I don't know if you can tell because I sound tired, or the sun's going down. This is the last video I'm making today. As I'm locking up the house, that might be a clue. Trying to lock up the house. So this is the time when I'd like to say thank you, dear client. Thank you for your trust in your business. Those things mean the world to my family and I, and the cats. And if you could leave me a good Google review, that means a lot to a small businessman. So like, subscribe, Google. And this is to my client. I like to talk to anybody about home inspections. I just really like it. But about this house, if you got any questions, dear client, you know that you can call me. You know that we can talk. Come along here, the skylights. This is the most I could get the water to turn off. And I did not trust the main shut-off valve in the front yard. It's buried. So we're just left with that. I feel like it's really, this door is hard to open and close. Do not touch that until it's yours. You'll be here all afternoon like I was trying to turn it off. Stopper's loose. Okay, the GFCI worked in the garage. I didn't have any access to the pump. There's 3 attic accesses. None of them are sufficient. We got one in here. We left a little bit of insulation, and I told they have a guy that's checking on the place, so we talked to him about it. I said, look, all this stuff fell out of the attic. It's supposed to be in the attic. It's supposed to be lined. That's a deficiency. It's supposed to be lined so that insulation doesn't fall out like it did. Okay, these windows are 23 inches from the carpet. When this house was built and the code inspector came in, maybe the carpet wasn't in. Code inspectors don't backtrack. The only thing they backtrack on is if they find a problem. So there's no floor covering. They come in, they measure it as 24 inches, fine, passes inspection. He never looks at it again and says, oh, well, let me change this. No, it's not the way they work. So the windows upstairs are the minimum height, if the window is higher than 72 inches from the ground, it should not be any closer to the floor than 24 inches. These are 23 inches. It kind of is what it is. This is another closet where where we had the access, and all the accesses are too small. And we left this here just in case somebody wants to go up there and do some work after the inspection. We can get it all cleaned out at once. I'm not being a big guy about this, okay? I know that I'm just kind of passing. I'm informing. I didn't try to tear it up, but no, I was supposed to have access. We all know that. And same thing with this one too, which is also too small. We got a little shear movement right in here. We got a little bit of movement in this corner. I'm going to come back and take a picture of that. It almost looks like somebody would have been sitting on this or something, except they got shear movement in the corner. So that's kind of interesting. We got cracks on the wall outside, on the other side of that too. No, that's where the control joint is. Oh well. Thermostats, leaving on cool 85, set temperature to 85, cool. That's where I found it. Found both of them. Okay. This is the primary bedroom, and look at this door. It does not want to close. We've got an open door policy in this house. We've got a cracked mirror over here. These 2 window balances aren't working. Yes. These 2 window balances are not working. That's why they're closed. Fireplace, I got a whole video on the fireplaces. This grate is warped right there. See how it's warped? So it had real hot fire in it. We got some repairs up here. Tested dry. We're gonna learn about this later. That's the fan. Listen to that. But this shower doesn't work. This GFCI controls that. That doesn't have, it's not listed as GFCI. That's a radiant heat lamp. Okay, it used to be what we did. So you can't say you don't have a heater in this bathroom. You know what kind? Moving around. Then I had one, okay. A couple of things here. Another angle. So you see the way the siding goes down, see where the rain gutter butts into that? We don't have kick out flashing. That's gonna be a water problem. It just is. Tree touching the roof, that's gonna be a tree problem and a water problem. And I have an Easter egg, a bonus. This floor is like 28% moisture in it. And that's a little beyond what I do. Okay, you see how it's coming up, it's deteriorating. Why is it so wet? People argue about 14, 17%, call it relative, all that. I get that. But after 20%, everybody agrees that the moisture content is elevated. And it is. The moisture content is elevated in this floor. So we want to know. Best case scenario, I was telling my clients, best case scenario is this floor will essentially crumble, come apart, die prematurely, if you will, exceed its economic life prematurely. Use your favorite catchphrase. But where's the moisture coming from? Where is the moisture coming from? We got a leak underneath there? Got a sewer leak? Is that what's happening? Why is it so wet? Okay, the ceiling has not been taped and bedded. We're in the garage. It has not been taped and bedded. And we've got an air supply register here. And I can hear it. Okay? You should not have an air supply register. It's okay to air condition the garage. That's acceptable. That's a thing. But when you air condition a garage, the garage has its own dedicated air conditioner. You do not use the same air conditioners with the rest of the house. Carbon monoxide can back up through the air supply vent, get into the system, gets broadcast through the entire house, puts everybody to sleep. No, you do not have an air supply register. You do. You should not have an air supply register in a garage. When you do not tape and bed the drywall on a garage ceiling like this, that's drafting, draft stopping. And so what happens is if you have a fire in the garage, not only will the fire go through your air conditioning system, but it'll also go through the walls. The fire will spread faster.